Mystery Society, issue number 1. So, this is actually a series that Tiger Mask has requested that I read. Well, he requested I read a couple, but I haven't been able to find any of them, except for Mystery Society. But it's by Steve Niles, don't really know who that is, by IDW, which hasn't been doing so well lately. But, this series is actually not too bad. Well, I don't want to say this series because I've only read the first issue, but the first issue was actually pretty damn good. So it starts off with a bunch of reporters standing outside of a prison where we have a bus delivering our main character, who is named Nick Hammond, and he apparently runs this company, I guess you can call it, called Mystery Society. Yeah, he's kind of a big deal, and so the reporters are constantly like asking him a bunch of questions and things like that, and he decides to actually stop and take his time to explain everything that's kind of happening. Like, we kind of get the impression that he's kind of an adrenaline junkie, and the same with his wife, or at least they're not like the normal husband and wife duo. There's just something weird and off about them. But yeah, so basically I'm assuming that this whole series is going to be one huge flashback as he's telling his story. I always find those kind of setups to be just a little interesting, just because like, we get like scenes that, okay, so Nick is telling his story, right? But then we're gonna get scenes that Nick is not even in. Like, how does he know like things that are going on, things that other people are talking about when he's not even in the area? That's why I find those always kind of funny, where, like, someone's explaining a story, but they're explaining like scenes that they weren't in. So it's kind of like, how did you know? Like, if you want to tell stories like that, you basically got to pull a video game narrative, and that's just like a little thing that I've made up for myself, where a story follows the main character and every scene has the main character in it, kind of like a video game. Well, most video games, you don't see anything that the main character doesn't see. I've written a couple movie scripts that kind of follow that formula. So we have a flashback and we see him basically breaking into Area 51. And as he's doing that, he's talking with his wife, who is in their apartment, I assume. And we see like a bunch of like exotic statues and furniture and things like that. And she's reading a book called Secret Military Tests. So they're having like friendly banter as Nick is breaking into Area 51. And he has like, I'm assuming, high-tech gadgets. Like, he knocks 2 guards out by electrifying them with, I'm assuming it's like electric gloves or something. I'm assuming that these people don't have powers. Then again, there is some supernatural elements in this story, so I don't know. This is just the first issue, so I don't really know too much about any of these characters other than what I saw in this issue. As Nick is like breaking in, his wife's talking about how somebody stole Edgar Allan Poe's skull, and they gotta get it back, but obviously they gotta do it after Nick has finished breaking into Area 51. So yeah, I mean, it's basically like we just get banter between the two as he fights off like guards and robots and things like that. As they're talking, his wife enters one of the rooms, and there's this person sitting on the desk with a skull mask on, and the person is looking for Nick Mystery, and the wife's like, he's not here, and the person's like, well, I'll wait. So then we come back to Nick, where he enters a underground hangar, and we see a bunch of crazy stuff. So basically, it's like that scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark, the end, where you see the person walking through like a warehouse with a bunch of crates, and they're gonna put the Ark of the Covenant away. That's basically what it reminded me of. We see a bunch of crates. We don't know what's in it, but I'm assuming it's gonna be like just like crazy stuff. And we see like a UFO and some kind of, I'm assuming, like a dinosaur creature, and then another giant mech attacks. So we get more action scenes with Nick fighting the giant mech, and he uses like this ice grenade to freeze the robot, and then he turns around and there's a general with a bunch of soldiers. And then we cut back to the wife, where she's in the middle of a fight with the skull person. Yeah, the art here gets kind of weird. Basically, the skull person gets their mask knocked off and turns out to be a woman, and her face is just all kind of weird. Anyways, her name is the Secret Skull, and there's like a joke about like, really, that's your name? And the lady's like, I need a new name, seriously. So it's kind of like Bendis speak right there. She kind of talks about how she's dead, like literally dead, because like the wife offers like a drink, and she's like, no, I don't drink liquids or eat or any of that stuff. basically I'm dead. So I guess she's a zombie or a vampire or something. I don't know. And she came because she wants a position in the Mystery Society. And the wife's like, like, why didn't you say so? You sure can't handle yourself, so I'm sure Nick will be thrilled. And I'm just kind of like, wait, you sure can handle yourself? Like, we literally started the fight with the secret skull being thrown into a mirror, and then she charges at the wife, and the wife does one kick, and basically that's the end of the fight. So how the heck did the secret skull, how did she handle herself? She literally got her butt kicked in like 2 moves, and she didn't put any kind of offense whatsoever. But whatever. Okay, so she's in. So we cut back to Nick, and all the soldiers are knocked out, and all that's left is the general. And Nick quickly puts him out too, with a sleeping gas of some sort. And we finally discover what he broke into Area 51 to get, and it's this thing called Project X2X. And it's 2 little girls. Looks like they're put into a medical-induced coma, and they're inside these tubes. So Nick frees them, and then kind of tells them, like, my name is Nick. I'm going to help you get out of this place. And then I'll explain everything. And before they can leave, the general, I guess, has woken up. And he's inside a giant, what looks like a giant gorilla mech. And Nick is about to fight it. When the 2 girls, kind of like, no, we got this. And then they hold hands and their eyes light up. And that's how the issue ends. Yeah, I got a lot of questions, but I kind of figured that's what's going to happen, obviously, for the first issue. First issue for any new series is basically just setting the groundwork for the characters, for the premise, and of course leaving you with questions so that you would come back for more to get your answers. So yeah, it was a fun little issue. Didn't really have anything that, I had like the little nitpicks, but that's not enough to ruin this story. It was interesting. I will probably check out the rest of this series. First I have to see how many issues there actually are, but I will probably check it out eventually, because I am kind of curious to see what's up with these 2 girls, what this Mystery Society does other than, I guess, go after take on weird missions, like breaking into Area 51, apparently going after Edgar Allan Poe's skull. I'm kind of interested to see what's up with the whole vampire or zombie or whatever the secret skull is. So yeah, decent issue. Not the greatest, not the worst. I'd give it a solid B. So yeah, I enjoyed it. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys all next time. Later.